We're going to create a simple technical drawing for this stool. Now come over to this plus sign button over here. Click on it and select New Layout. In this layout, we're creating basically a page. I'm going to name this page Technical Drawing. Select Rhino PDF, select A3, and select Landscape. I'm going to click OK. So you can see now I've got one page. I'm going to name this Technical Drawing. Anytime you want to go back to the previous view, just click on Perspective. Okay, so we're going to first generate a 2D technical drawing. In order to do that, we're going to use the top view, selecting the entire stool. Go over to Dimension, select Make 2D Drawing, and make sure top view is selected. Make sure you check third angle projection. You can turn on tangent lines, tangent edges, and hidden lines, and OK. So it'll take a while to generate. Once it's done, it will appear right in the top view. I'm going to move this aside. So you want to move this away from this drawing so that you have some space. It will create a drawing based off the perspective view. If you go to Technical Drawing, this page right now is showing only the top view. So you're going to double click it here. And this allows you to zoom out and focus on this. And then you can double click to set the page. When you set the page, you can't move anymore. When you double click, you can actually move it. This is kind of like a window into your top view. So go over on Properties and double click into it. Look at the right hand side properties and change this to 4. All right, we want to create a 1:4 drawing. Do not zoom in this space anymore. Straight away, double click to set. So now the view is set. Anytime you want to change your view, you can just pan and rearrange your view, but do not zoom in. The moment you zoom in or out, everything else is going to be changed and you have to reset this again. Okay, so now you have one page, right? I'm going to leave some room. Okay, so I'm going to move this to the side. I'm going to leave some room for a simple title block over here. And this is the page where you can start to create and make your dimensions. So using dimensions, which is this tool over here, you can come over, click on the ends, and you can click on the top edge over here, and you can get like an overall size of this tool. I'm going to continue with the rest. The general rule of thumb is that you have this much space and you want half of this space every time you increase the dimension. So you want to keep it nice and neat as well. Make sure you try to get all the dimensions. Try not to repeat dimensions. So make sure you don't turn on your near point. Make sure you have your spot points so that you are able to select the overall. Try to keep them aligned, like so. Now, if you need to move them, then you can try to select both of them and try to kind of move them out a little bit. Okay, like so. Looks like I haven't got this top view, so I'm going to do the same here. Okay, that's about right. And if you need the overall size, you can go to the ends. You just do something like this. So it looks like I've got most of the sizes up. You can put in the radius. We're using the radius function here. You can have it like that. and like that. So you can see I'm trying to give it a bit more spacing. All right. Okay, so if it tries to cut into the drawing, it's not ideal, but in this case, I'm just going to leave that there. Canon. All right. So you really only need 2 views. This is possibly an extra view. Okay, you don't really need this. I'm going to try to get this as well. Okay, so that the overall thickness there. This looks good. Now, what I need to do is to reduce that decimal point, because with millimeters, there's really no need to have that decimal point. So I'm going to go to options over here. Go and find this thing called annotation styles. It should be selected for you. Go ahead and click edit on this. Find this length units. Look out for linear resolution and change this to 1. Hit apply. You get a very nice dimension without any decimal point. What I'm going to do next is I'm going to remove this. I'm going to put in a rendered image instead. And then I'm going to place a title block. So I'll go back to my perspective. I'll click render. Make sure you're in perspective mode. Click on this ball. And what happens, it will start to render. Once it's done rendering, click save. And you want to save it on the desktop somewhere. Okay, so done that. I'll close this. Go back to my top view. Okay, and get rid of this. Go file. I'm going to drag in the picture. Drag this in. Okay. Yeah, there you go, something like this. I'm going to put the picture there. I'll go back to my technical drawing layout. And there you go, you have a simple picture. I'm going to just move this thing a little bit. Yeah, it's a bit too big. Right, so I'm just going to give it some space. Now, if you want to, you can just this up slightly. Okay, so give myself some space around here to place my technical drawing. I'm going to save this file. Come over to help. Learn Rhino, tutorials and samples. Go to level 1 training menu. Expand that. Scroll all the way down. Find this thing called title block millimeters. Double click on that. So copy this. Control C. Go back to the earlier drawing and paste it. Control V. Reposition this nicely. You don't have to go right to the ends. Okay, so you can just give a bit of a space. And what I like to do is I like to kind of draw it like that. So I'll draw a line. Now I've got this line drawn. All my lines are drawn in red, so I'm going to go ahead and change the color to black. So anytime you want to change the text, all you have to do is just double click on this and you can change this text. So then you can start putting in your own text over here. Once you're done with that, you can go to File and Print. It'll print as a PDF. Make sure the size is correct. Landscape is selected. And you can choose black and white or display color. I'm going to print color because of the image here. And I'll hit print. So I'll print it on the desktop. Let's take a look. And there you go.